So, what if we could finally crack the code of consciousness? I mean, for centuries, it's been the ultimate mystery, right? Well, a brand new theory is proposing a single unified framework that might just explain everything about the mind. Let's dive in and see what it's all about.
I mean, really think about this for a second. It's a question that can keep you up at night. Every single joy you felt, every memory, every thought, it's all being generated by this, 3-pound universe of soft tissue inside your skull. How do simple sparks of electricity and bits of chemistry create the entire world you experience? It's wild.
And this quote from the new paper just nails the problem perfectly. For decades, scientists studying the mind have been like that blind person and the elephant. You've got one group studying memory, they're feeling the leg. Another group is studying vision, they've got the trunk. They all have a piece of it for sure, but no one has been able to step back and see the whole animal. So before we can really get into the new theory, we have to understand what makes this elephant in the brain so incredibly hard to see. Why has consciousness been science's greatest mystery for so long?
Well, the first big challenge is you can't just point to one part of the brain and say, aha, there's the mind. It's what's called an emergent property, which is just a fancy way of saying it arises from the super complex interaction of everything else. Your personality, your memories, your awareness, they all work together to create this unified sense of you. It's a classic case of the whole being way, way greater than the sum of its parts. But here's the thing, even without seeing the whole elephant, we haven't been working completely in the dark. Decades of research have left this trail of clues, kind of like puzzle pieces scattered all over the table, and they're all pointing towards a much bigger picture. Over the years, there have been so many theories trying to explain consciousness. You've got some that see it as this global information network, others that focus on how information gets integrated, and yeah, some even bring quantum physics into the mix. Each one has definitely shed some light on a piece of the puzzle, but none have really managed to put all the pieces together. Until maybe now. And this brings us right to the new breakthrough. This theory argues that for any system, whether it's biological or artificial, to actually be conscious, it has to meet 4 very specific conditions. They're calling them the 4 pillars of the mind. So here they are, the 4 pillars. First, you have to have specialized parts, or modules, that's compartmentalize. But then those parts have to be connected, or integrated. Third, they need to act together, in sync, synchronize. And finally, and this is the part that gets really mind-bending, the whole system has to process reality in discrete, separate moments. That's quantize. Let's break that down.
Okay, let's tackle those first 2 pillars, compartmentalize and integrate. We've known for a really long time that the brain is compartmentalized, right? There are specific regions for vision, for language, for sound, but those specialists are pretty useless if they can't talk to each other. And that's where integration comes in. They have to be woven together by this absolutely massive network of connections. A perfect example of this in action is the thalamus. People often call it the brain's grand central station, and for good reason. Imagine you witness a car crash. The sight of it goes to your visual cortex. The sound of it goes to your auditory cortex. The thalamus is the hub where those separate tracks meet, merging all those different signals into one single, seamless, unified experience of that one event. Okay, so the modules are connected, but for consciousness to actually emerge, they have to act together. And that's the third pillar, synchronization. For you to have a single thought, like remembering a vacation, all the different brain regions involved, the visual part, the emotional part, the memory part, they all have to fire in the same rhythm. They have to resonate together, kind of like instruments in an orchestra all hitting the exact same note at the exact same time. All right, this brings us to the 4th and honestly the most radical pillar of this entire theory, the idea that your mind operates with a frame rate, just like a camera. This is the concept of quantization. So what does quantization actually mean? Well, the theory proposes that our perception of reality isn't this smooth, continuous stream we think it is. Instead, our brain processes everything in these tiny, individual snapshots, literally like the frames of a movie. It's only when these frames are stitched together fast enough that it creates the illusion of seamless motion. I mean, just think about a movie. It's not actually moving. It's just a series of still photos shown to you very, very quickly. It's our brain that does the hard work of stitching them together to create that experience of fluid motion. This theory is basically arguing that our perception of reality works the exact same way. Your mind, in a sense, has a refresh rate. And if you're thinking, okay, cool idea, but where's the proof? Well, the authors point directly to brainwaves. They suggest these waves are the physical evidence of quantization. The frequency of the wave is literally the frame rate of your mind at any given moment. Those super high-frequency gamma waves, that's your brain in high-speed camera mode for intense focus. Slower beta waves are for just your normal day-to-day consciousness. And those really slow delta waves, that's deep sleep. Your brain is literally changing its refresh rate depending on what it needs to do.
So why does the theory about the human brain matter so much for the future of technology? Because if it's correct, it doesn't just explain our minds, it gives us a blueprint for how to build one. This could be the key to creating true artificial general intelligence, or AGI. You can see the fundamental difference in architecture right here. Today's AI models are kind of like one giant, super powerful brain region that's trying to do everything at once. But this theory suggests a true AGI would need to be built more like an actual brain, with specialized modules for different tasks, all integrated and synchronized through a central hub, all operating on these same 4 pillars. So in the end, this theory frames the mind not as some unknowable, magical mystery, but as an incredibly sophisticated biological computer with a very specific architecture. And if that's true, it leaves us with one pretty profound question. If we can understand the blueprint, what happens when we finally build one that's better?